So what is up, guys? You got your boy Stingren here today, and today we're back with some of our reverse 1999 content. And today we are here to talk about the 2.2 raid buffs. These are of course going to be the buffs that's going to be active for 2.2's main bulletins only in all three of its several fights. And of course, just to let you guys know, this is not permanent buffs. So these are not the buffs that are going to be on the characters that's going to stay in every other game mode. This is only exclusively for mains bulletin only. But without further ado, let's get right into it and let's talk about what characters were buffed and what they got. So let's see, and let's start with Medicine Pocket. So Medicine Pocket is the first buffed character. I like that. Medicine Pocket does deserve a buff. So let's see what they got. After any actions from the enemy, if any ally's HP is under 40%, Medicine Pocket will release Focus Alchemy Wear once and only once per turn, or a maximum of once. After each action from self increases 10% healing rate to a maximum of 40%. Okay, so it means that they're gonna get a really nice healing boost then. Let me see. For each action from self increases 10%. Now I don't know, because that means you can potentially go like one forced action, maybe ult, then heal for a 30% healing rate on that heal, which could be good. Let me see. Alright, Focus Alchemy Wear. It's a single heal that heals up to 150% of Medicine Pocket's attack on one target. If Medicine Pocket's HP is under 50%, it is a mass heal based on 150% of Medicine Pocket's attack instead. Okay. So it's basically just a heal just in case if anybody falls a little bit low on HP. Okay, I mean that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean that's not anything super crazy. It just makes them more consistent as a healer. So I mean, yeah, that's not terrible. That's definitely not terrible. No, that's a pretty solid buff, honestly. I rate that a pretty solid buff. All right, next up is Ana Lee, another new buff. Let's see. Insight turns to at the start of the round switches between focus break time and focus exorcism time, which is her same buffs as before. Let me see. When in focus exorcism time, all incantations of allies gain +1 star. Wait, no. So she's giving everyone an empower incantation boost on every other round? Oh no, Ana Lee. Hold up, Ana Lee might just be tier 0. I know that's early, and I know I might be overreacting, but think about this, right? Everybody getting a +1 incantation? Everyone? That's insane. That's sick. There's so many good combinations with that. With six in his own empower incantation boost, that technically means you could go from a 1 to a 3-star, which is kinda dumb. Mercuria's level adjustment effect from her ultimate, which technically means you go from a 1 to a 3-star too when her buff effect is active. Like, what? What the freak? I almost said I try to be family friendly here, guys. So Jesus Christ, Ana Lee, yo, Bupa cooked. What the heck, man? +1 star on everyone, dude. I didn't even read the last line. But +1 star is big. That's so big, dude. Especially for characters who want to have higher incantation cards anyway, like Marcus, like Lucy. You know what I mean? Like, these are gonna be such viable buffs for them. Wow. That's gonna make some really good situations go really good. This can also, like, if you pair her with Vila, you get constant power burst off of her buff, because it's every single card, so you don't have to worry about having to you don't have to worry about fusing or using the versatile card to fuse it to a +2 if you really wanted to get the power burst. So that gives her a consistent power burst effect on her buffing card. Like for Marcus, this is probably one of the easiest ways for her to get into her 3-star incantation for that 30% pin rate on her single target skill, which is very nice. You know, for other buffers that, you know, really could use like Isolde, you now get access to higher critical damage without really having to dig for it. Like, there's so much synergy that goes with that, dude. There's so much synergy. Like, that's a 10 out of 10 for me. I try not to put numbers in these things, but that's a 10 out of 10, dude. All right, let's recollect ourselves, and let's talk about the next one. All right, when in focus break times, okay, all allies receive 30% of the max HP as a shield, which lasts for 2. Okay, nah, she's broken. Nah, she's broken. She's broken. She's tier 0. Yep, she's tier 0. There's just no way. A 30% HP shield on break time? What? And that's 30% of... That's higher than P0 Yensei, and she was known to hold the highest shield in the game at 25%. Like, brother, my brother in Christ. I mean, it's not higher than Yensei at P5, which I think is 35% of her max HP is shield. But I mean, oh man, that's really good. That's a really good shield. Cause think about it, right? Well, yeah, obviously the shield values will fluctuate because it's based on their HP and not like Anali's HP. It's based on their HP, from what this translation is saying, right? So if it's based on their HP, some allies don't have the highest HP, which means the shield won't be as potent, but that's still 30% of the HP. Mostly everyone in the game is usually peaking at around like maybe 9 to 10k HP reliably. So that's still really good. That's basically a 3k shield when you think about it. That's still really good. That's still going to be helping absorb a lot of damage. And then not to even mention, Anali also still has damage taken reduction as a buff. So that's still going to make the shield even more potent. So, I mean, yeah, dude. Anali's a 10 out of 10 for me. That's instant 10 out of 10. Instant 10 out of 10. I cannot go no higher than that. That's Anali. Easily best unit in the entire in this entire like patch so far. Like easily. Of course, we might see something else that might blow us off our feet, but man, that was peak. That's a peak buff, bro. She's kind of cracked now. But anyway, let's talk about Miss New Babel. I believe these are the same buffs as their 2.1. This when entering the battle and just loyal partner. Yeah, that was in 2.1. When an ally's attack, gain 1 stack of focus teamwork, and when self is attacked, yeah, this is all 2.1. And let me see, when self releases a new wave, which is her buff skill, it increases reality defense multiplier shield times 100%, okay, and consumes all focus teamwork. For each layer of focus teamwork consumed, increases damage dealt by all allies for 2 rounds. So basically, you could basically allow for Miss New Babel to just keep being attacked into, then focus off a buff. And then you can get potentially up to 30% damage dealt up for 2 rounds. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, 30% reality defense up, and then for each layer. I don't know if there's a direct cap of this though. Oh, never mind. It's a cap right here. Focus teamwork has a cap of 10. So yeah, this would be 30% damage dealt up, and this would be reality defense plus 30%. Okay. I mean, that's actually pretty good though. Reality defense plus 30% is pretty strong, and she already has the highest reality defense in the entire game. I think she peaks at around like I think it's like 1.1k or something. So yeah, pretty good. Alright, let's talk about Eternity. So Eternity's buffs are primarily the same. I believe it's the exact same buff. So Blood of Longevity is automatically granted, which is the max buff that she would normally get. Now she gets max HP plus 20%, damage dealt plus 25%, damage heal was 25% after attacking, loses 10% current HP, and adds an extra 20% of lost HP as Genesis damage, which it can crit. I don't remember if it could crit the last time. I think it was just Genesis damage that they just gave her. But, I mean, that's going to make her synergy with Semmelweis better, technically. So, I guess that's a thing. Or Semmelweis? I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. But anyway, Lilya, same buffs as before. I've already talked extensively about how good her buffs would be. I've now seen videos with Lilya, and she did actually perform fairly well with the buffs in mind. So I'm pretty excited for these buffs. But if you guys don't know, she now has the crit rate into critical damage conversion, which is the one thing that I asked for immediately, because I think that was just really the only thing that she wanted was a way to convert her buff to make it better. Like, I think that's just kind of the thing I would just, I mean, that was really just it, but being able to now have both follow up. So whenever, that's just when it is. So let's see, when follow up attacks crit. Huh. I believe it was when she used. Oh yeah, no, this is the same. This is the same. Yeah, it's whenever she gets a follow up that crits, then she gets a focus follow up stack, and then her a small trick, which is the ultimate, which is 75% more reality damage up, which is good. Again, this is really good. So it's not like it's really anything super crazy. It's what she needed. It's what she needed. As I'm talking about Regulus. So Regulus actually got a bit of a nerf this time around. I believe Sleepless Heart or Restless Heart, my bad, was nerfed because it already gave +1 AP, and I actually vastly underestimated how important that buff was. Restless Heart gave you +1 AP on 2.1, which basically means so long as Regulus does nothing at all, which is starting like from turn 2 onwards, you would have 5 actions, which is really good. I've seen this now in raid content for CN and seen how vital that was for certain strategies, and that was really good. Now it just straight up gives +1 Moxie, which is, I mean, it makes her a better Moxie accelerator, which is again pretty good. I can't really complain too much about it, but other than that, yeah. But the +1 AP was kind of nutty. It was kind of nutty, but anyway. Druvis, I think her buffs are also the same as well, which is the damage heal, the leech rate, damage bonus for every 100% of attack, which gives +1 damage bonus, and then of course 50% penetration to petrified enemies. Again, I did talk very highly about her buffs, and Druvis's buffs are pretty good. The problem is that there's not too many things that can be petrified, not even in mains, so I don't know if you really get to see the 50% penetration as much. Again, I don't really have, you know, the CN client installed, so that could just be pure speculation, but I don't know, man. But all of these extra effects is still pretty good, I would say. The damage healing effect, the leech rate, the damage bonus, and for every 100 attack, she might go pretty dumb with Caconia, actually, now that I think about it, because if you can get a decent amount of raw attack, which you can do, I think most units either peak at around like 1.5 to 1.8. Now there's certain other characters that go way beyond, but obviously since this is only applicable to plant characters, probably like 1.5 to 1.7, and then that basically gives them a total of like 37 or like 35 to 37% damage delta because of the 100% stacking bonus too. That could potentially see some really nice numbers here. You could see some pretty nice boost ups here. You could probably get like a total of 50% damage bonus off of something like this. So pretty nice. Next up is going to be Sotheby, and it's the same thing as what it was before. It's at starter around, consumes 2 layers of focus poison. At the release, the ultimate gets +1 Moxie, focus poison. Focus consumes all layers before attacking. For every layer consumed, gives 1 target poison, which will inflict 30% attack genesis damage at the end of the round for 2 rounds. So it's just, you know, just another more applicable way to do poison for Sotheby, which again increases her synergy with Tuesday, which primarily is what most people are running her with now, is just Tuesday. So there's that. All right, Getian or Getian. Again, I can't say his name to save my life. I'm just not good with names. Okay, so many people correct me on how I say names, and I get it, I understand, but man, I'm just not good with names. Names is not my strong suit. But anyway, Shape of Bones. It is reality defense minus 15%, and when attacking, receives extra based on caster's attack of 30% of Genesis damage, which can be layered up to 3 stacks, which each layer is stacked individually. Now, I talked about this pretty negatively the first time around, but I actually want to go back and recorrect, because I was actually corrected on this when I talked about it a little bit more on the CN server. This is a stacking debuff, so this means this technically becomes 45% reality defense if all 3 layers are active. Since they're all counted individually, it can be, of course, hard to maintain that 45%, but you're going to be looking at least at a decent you're going to be looking at a decent of like 30%, which is still fairly strong. I mean, 30% reality that's stackable on top of other applicants. Again, 6 who got a monstrous, I believe, on 2.1. I believe his was 40% reality defense down. So that could have been like a big total of 70 or something. So there's a lot of really good things there that was a part of the buff. But anyway, At the start of the round, if it casts in a prophecy foretold, inflicts shape of bones on all enemies for 3 rounds. Okay. For every layer of shape of bones, emanation, which is the I believe that's the follow-up that he has, deals 25% extra reality damage. If any enemy has 3 layer of shape of bones, animation will crit. Okay, not bad at all. Nothing really super crazy, but I'm gonna go ahead and just say that Annalee's buffs are absolutely insane. There's really not anything there that I cannot say just out of the gate, but Annalee's buffs are probably the best of this patch so far. Or well, just the patch period. I don't think no one other characters are getting buffed at this time, but yeah, that's stupid, bro. Like +1 incantation to everyone at the start of her break time, and then when she switches over, she gets the shield. Like, come on, dude. That's crazy. I mean, +1 on exorcism, +1 on shield on break time. Like, that's insane, brother. That's insane. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just sign out for this one, guys. And let me know what you guys think about the 2.2 buffs. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Me from the future here, because I just forgot these characters, so that is totally my bad. But we're gonna go ahead and talk about the other characters that were here. They're primarily the same as what they were from the 2.1 updates, the same set of characters for the most part. So again, not too much was really changed, but I am gonna talk about some of the key ones here. But yeah, so Centurion, her effect is slightly different. It's still the same, but it's a different effect. So basically, Centurion couldn't really gain Moxie outside of you just stacking cards on her, or of course using an effect that would natively give her the Moxie. But now she at least has a way to at least increase her own Moxie by +1 if she attacks or crits on an attack, which is, you know, not bad. Focus Determination is still good because it still gives you up to 30% critical rate and critical damage, which is really good. That's a really good buff. So again, I do think Centurion's buffs are still fantastic, but it's just now she has more of a consistent way to gain Moxie, so to speak, because now she can do it basically if she can crit. So pretty good. Alright, 6 is debuffs. Again, we already talked about how good his buffs were. 40% on reality mental defense is insane. 50% crit down is basically it's 3-star Isolde just on a 1-star potential cast, which is kind of hilarious. But anyway, so Fracture was slightly changed to have 50% attack based off Genesis damage, not bad. Discipline, of course, is 3 random debuffs instead of just a 2, which is again kind of insane, because you just kind of cycle through his debuffs a lot more quicker that way. Before casting Ultimate, it inflicts 3 random collection debuffs rather than the 2. So again, more easier ways to get into spreading those debuffs out, which is again very good. And the Revelation now deals 100% mental damage for each status down, negative statuses, or control status that the enemy has. So effectively speaking, this gives 6 basically more multipliers to his ultimate, because remember, you can still use the 5 Eureka to boost up the modifier even more, so there's that. Then you can also now use this effect to stack up a bunch of debuffs on the enemy to increase the modifier even more. So 6 really looking like a dedicated burst nuker now. Like, I mean, he was already looking like one before. Like, even just at P0, he was still looking at like a burst nuker, especially in certain content. Like I believe Main's Bulletin, Golden Cave. A lot of people use 6 to nuke because again, he was really doing a good job at that effect. So now that he now has a secondary way to boost up his numbers, wow, pretty good. Alright, Balloon Party. When self receives balloons, all other allies receives one of the same balloon. Good. That basically means she can double stack her balloons, which is really good. Party Balloon deals reality defense 200% of it. Okay, 200% reality damage. Okay. Well, defense. Okay. Defense taken reduction given by Balloon Innocence becomes 50% instead, and when casting a 2-star or above Coughing Weirdo gains 1 Balloon of Innocence. So what that means, she gets 2 Balloon of Innocence instead, since she's technically also giving it to herself. pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then damage taken reduction minus 50% makes, you know, her way more sustainable to living. So, okay. I mean, I think this is majority the same. I think the only difference is the balloon affinity that's now gained on Coughing Weirdo. So I believe that wasn't in a 2.1 raid, but I could be wrong. But yeah. All right, next up is going to be Charlie. Let's see what Charlie gets. After attacking, deals 10% of HP as Genesis damage to itself, then doubles that damage to all enemies. After that round, heals 20% lost HP. Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting. That could make her deal some pretty decent numbers. Alright, let me see. When the caster starts around with above 50% HP, instead receives damage dealt plus 50% and crit rate plus 30% for one round. Wow, that's really good. I mean, damage dealt plus 50% is actually really high. So that means she can definitely really utilize that effect of spreading off extra damage. That's really good. And crit rate plus 30% is very helpful for someone like Charlie, because he has very, very low crit technique for some reason. Pretty good. I don't think there's really nothing negative I can say about that. Nah, that's pretty good though. Charlie has pretty good buff. I might level my Charlie now. What the heck? Anyway, Bkorn, after allies attack, gain one target of focus weaken. When attacking a target with 20 focus weaken stacks, you get Moxie plus 1. I don't know if this is specifically to Bkorn, but if it's to everyone, that's pretty good. But let me see, focus weaken is reality damage minus 1% for a maximum of 20 layers, which is basically reality defense minus 20%. On top of her own reality shred that she already has, that's a max of 25. So it's up to 45% reality shred, which is about as good as everyone else. So yeah. Desert Flannel. When entering the battle, increases Moxie of all allies for each beast character that can only be triggered once. If there are other beast characters other than Desert Flannel, when other characters release ultimates, increases the Moxie of self and position one character by +1. I mean, you can effectively run a beast monotype team, especially now with Anjo being the support for your team or the sub DPS. So you can run like DPS, like main DPS Bahothia, you could run Anjo, you could run of course Flannel for obviously this effect specifically, and then Medicine Pocket, boom, you got yourself a team. That's a team right there. I mean, that's pretty much a beast monotype team. And then you can really use this as an interesting way to funnel Moxie to maybe you could use this maybe as a way to funnel Moxie to Anjo maybe, because if it's like let me see, if there's other beast characters and anyone triggers her ult, that is basically a +4 Moxie gain, right? For every beast character other than Desert Flannel. So no, that's +3. So that's a +3 Moxie gain for that character. So if it's positioned to give it to Anjo, then you give her 3 Moxie, which is very good because you want to give her a lot of Moxie because you can do things that trigger ults that way. So that could be interesting. Now you can maybe pair it with Spahothea. You can use Anjo's contract to pair it with Spahothea, and then you can just build up Moxie regularly with Flannel, ult with someone else like Medicine Pocket or Flannel in this particular case, and then that's gonna be some Moxie for Anjo. I think that could be really good. That could be an interesting comp. I would love to see someone try this actually. Someone try this. If you're a CN player, send me the video if you can of like a monotype beast team maybe, and I would love to see what that's about. Also, I think there's also Lepera who's coming too, who's also another beast support character, so that could also be a potential team option. Alright, Eagle's the same thing. Lead trade and penetration of beyond superficiality and reality is 50%, and then whenever another character actively releases ult, she also releases her ult as well. So pretty same thing, but yeah. But I believe that's everyone for reals this time. So again, now I'm actually done with the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!